I would say a good 70% in Alabama of the administrations were achievement services based. And so one of the things that, one of the reasons for achievement services was that we had this program, STI assessment, and we'd go out there, sell it to a school, it'd get installed, and then it wouldn't get used. And as you guys are very familiar with it by now, the reason for that is the teachers, they've got a few things on their plate already to do. And then when you go through the training, we'd set up 2 days of training for somebody, and typically the teachers aren't at the training. Usually the district administrator who's supposed to be at the training calls the janitor and says, hey, could you go to the training for me? And that's who shows up at the training. And so what we would find is that they would come back and they wouldn't know how to do the basic stuff. And they wouldn't use the product, and then it wouldn't get picked up again for the next year. So Achievement Services came in, and we actually walked in to the schools and said, okay, well, let us help you. Let's set up the test for you. We'll set up you guys do the administration, and then we'll come back and review the data for you. And it has done wonders for the use of assessment. I seriously think it is probably, the sole reason assessment is successful today is because of Achievement Services. Some of the highlights: we've had 10 consecutive months of utilization growth. That's where the test numbers and test administrations have actually gone up. The Achievement Services customers that were showing up here actually doubled their usage from the previous years. So not only is Achievement Services making a difference, but it's in the schools, but it's definitely making a difference with the product as well, in terms of people using the product. Quick technical update. I was surprised, I don't know why, I don't think we actually publicized this very heavily, but for those of you who are interested in getting to the historical data from last year, every year we have a rollover. Because assessment is still just a year-to-year program and not a multi-year program, we have this thing called rollover in the middle of the summer where all of the data from the year is moved to a historical site. And the sites are available at historical, whatever the name of the year is, .stiassessment.com. So if you wanted to go in to last year's data at Kennett or last year's data at Hayti, for example, and look at that data, you can do that by going to the historical site and logging in just like you would last year. Quick note on that: if the district administrator password changes from year to year, it will be whatever the district administrator password was for the year that you were there. And if you find yourself where you can't log into the historical site for that reason, don't remember the password, just give me a call, send me an email, and I'll find out what it is and give it to you. Everybody got that? And that started, I think, back to 2006, so there's the ability. And what's interesting is some people will go back to the 2006 site and they'll say, hey, I want to get this report. Well, you can't get that report because that report wasn't there in 2006, it was there in 2009, and so it's fun.
Can you get trends across years?
Not yet. That has been kind of a desire of mine, so you get all this data out. Now, if you've got some specific information that you want as far as trends across years, that would be something I would be very interested in doing. I do have the ability to go in and grab the data and perform some analysis on it if we need to. It'll just take a little bit of work behind the scenes getting it set up. I'd love to do a feeder pattern analysis across years on that, following one student throughout the career of that student. So, okay, some events of note this year. These are the things that you need to know, and so I set up a couple of choices for you. We decided we could implement a new uniform this year for the coaches, or we could try to get you up to speed. So that's really your choice here. When you go walking into a district, this is kind of the stuff that you need to know. I think this year it was more for Alabama, the coach, the target, because of the iNow implementation that's going on there. These coaches would walk into the door and they would have the